Hey guys, it's Big Mike, and like always, I'd like to thank you for being here today. Today we have a webinar on trading order flow using VeloxPro's BookMap product. And the presenters today are Tsachi, Eyal, and Sergey from VeloxPro. And they're going to be sharing the microphone and cover many aspects of the product today, including the importance of the use of order book, an overview of the BookMap product, some of the differences and advantages of BookMap compared with traditional and existing order book tools, and identifying trade patterns and setups with BookMap. Sorry guys, it's been a long day. I'm a little tired. As you guys have questions, just type them into the questions box, and there's going to be some set stopping points when the guys will take those questions and give you answers to the best of their ability. I do want to remind everybody the webinar is being recorded, and I'll post the recording on BMT sometime tomorrow, so you can check back for that. Okay, guys, with that, I'm going to turn things over to the VeloxPro guys. All right, Eyal, you should have the share your screen option now.
Yep, I have it here. Just a second. All right, do you see my end of the screen?
Yeah, you might want to minimize the GoToWebinar.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, thanks guys.
Sure. All right, thank you Mike, and hi everyone who are listening to us online. We're very happy to be here this afternoon, and we want to thank you for joining us and trusting us with your time. We'd like to present to you today a product that we've recently developed. We think our product substantially enhances market visibility and provides traders with a good way to gain insight on short-term price action. We call our product BookMap, and we're going to spend the next 40 minutes or so to give you a general overview of the product, how it operates, and give you some examples of the type of information that you can get with BookMap. As Mike mentioned, we'll have a short break during the presentation for questions. We'll take them first after the demonstration of the application itself, and when we finish the presentation, we'll take another round of your questions. All right, so just a second. Let's start with a brief introduction of us, of VeloxPro and myself. My name is Eyal Aviv. I'm in charge of product management at VeloxPro. Personally, I've been involved in trading since late 2008. I trade mostly index options with varying frequencies, from monthly strategies to shorter-term trading opportunities. This is something that I find myself doing more ever since I started incorporating BookMap into my trading routine. I'm joined today here with two of my colleagues, Tsachi Galanos and Sergey Bondarchuk. Tsachi is our general manager, and Sergey is our CTO and the main creator of BookMap. As for VeloxPro, we're a boutique company, financial technology company. We're based in Israel. Our core expertise and experience is in the fields of exact sciences, mathematics, physics, electrical engineering, and computer science. We started our operation in 2008, mainly focusing on prop trading activity. We developed several high and low frequency strategies. And we also developed several market analysis tools, mainly for our own internal use. But we did have a few projects over the years with several financial firms. As for BookMap, just a general overview of the idea behind BookMap. BookMap basically is a result of an internal development that we had. We felt the need for a better analysis of one of our high-frequency trading strategies. It had a lot of focus on trading placement and trading execution, and we searched and didn't find a good enough tool to analyze our performance and the behavior of the strategy. So we started developing a tool which is basically in the sphere of market depth tools. During the development, as we went along with the development, we realized that this tool might be of interest for many other traders as well, and we started showing it to traders that we were in touch with, and we got a very positive feedbacks, and decided to make a BookMap application that is available for the retail traders. We think that BookMap provides superior market depth information than any other tool that is available currently on the market. We know that several quant funds that we've been speaking with are developing similar tools, but we're not aware of anything that is available currently to retail traders. Now, one thing before we continue that is important for me to point out, to emphasize, is that BookMap is not some sort of a magic application. It does not generate trading decision. It's all about providing information, unfiltered, unedited market information, complete information. And another way of looking at that, or stating the same, is that if we try to look on successful trading strategies and generalize about what makes them successful, we can point out three main ingredients. The first is access to information that is not yet available or utilized by the market. The second is the ability of traders to interpret that information. And the third is the ability to carry out trading action, to have trading execution fast enough based on this interpretation. BookMap provides the first and the third ingredient, and it can create or can give a real edge to experienced traders using it. But again, it does not generate a trading decision. It is up to the traders to interpret, to study the information provided by BookMap and develop their own sense and intuition on how to put this information to the best use. All right, so just briefly touching on the order book and time and sale. I'm quite sure that many of you are familiar with the order book and time and sales. I hope you do. I think that those of you that already incorporating in some way the order book and time and sales into your trading routine will have a very easy time understanding and appreciating the added value that BookMap provides. For those of you who are not familiar with these tools, I'll touch very briefly on the order book and time and sale. So I've put just an arbitrary examples of a few order book tools from various platform providers. We have on the left here the Ninja Superdome and the Ninja Time and Sale, TradeStation Market Depth, and Thinkorswim on the right side. Let's just, for the purpose of illustration, focus on the NinjaTrader Superdome and Time and Sale. So basically, what we can see here on the order book on the right side, it's basically a collection of all the pending orders, buy and sell orders that the exchange has not been able to match yet. They are placed in aggregation at the various price level. We can see the pending sell order here and the pending buy orders below the current bids. And on the left side, we have the time and sale that gives us information about trades that were already executed. We see the time of the execution, price, quantity of orders that were executed, and the colors gives us information about where this execution took place, whether it was at the bid or at the ask. Now, it's important to use the BookMap and time and sale because people who are familiar with that can develop a better sense of market behavior. If you think about it, everything that affects the price is in the tape. These two tools together are sometimes referred to as the tape. The order book contains the collective reflection of traders' intentions, driven by their desire to win or their fear of loss. And time and sales shows us the part of their intention that has been fulfilled. So in that sense, they cover, in general, they cover most of what drive asset prices. Now, the interpretation of this information is, of course, a totally different story, not an easy one. And we'll have a look at the limitation of tape reading tools. Again, very briefly touching on this issue. So again, I'm taking the same example of the NinjaTrader Superdome. This time it's a video capture that shows it in real-time action. So basically what we see here, first of all, most of the order tools today, or all of them, only provides the current book status. The market is always in flux; it keeps changing. But we as traders don't get to see this information. There's no easy way for us to get a good sense of the evolutionary process of the book. In order to do that, we have to memorize a lot of numbers. I'm sorry about all these windows that keep popping up. We'll touch on this once we get to the demonstration of the application. So we have to deal with a lot of memory work, and we have, as humans, a very limited short-term memory capacity. It's aggravated by the fact that we're in a more often than not stressful condition. The trading environment, the context of trading is sometimes stressful. We have the information in order book and time and sales presented to us not in a very intuitive manner. It's presented in the form of numbers. So we have to add, on top of all of this limitation, we have to add the need for a lot of computational work that has to be done at a very high speed. And the result of that is that although the information in these tools is very meaningful, we have it's very hard for us to create a complete picture or a substantial picture out of it. A picture that otherwise, absent this limitation, would have been available to us. So the question is whether there's a better way to present market depth and order flow information, and this is exactly where BookMap comes into play. Now, before going to the demonstration of the application and its main features, I just want to touch briefly on and basically emphasize again the two underlying concepts, one underlying concept, main underlying concept of BookMap, which is visualization. We tried to create a tool that deliver complex information, massive amounts of information in a very intuitive way, in a way that will enable traders to grasp it quickly without using much of their mental resources, freeing up their mental capacity and their time to carry out action based on that information, to interpret it quickly. And the way, as humans, that we are predisposed to analyze information better is through an image. And this is what we try to do with BookMap. Basically, BookMap is a combination of book, the order book, started as an order book tool, and map, which is the way we present the information, a sort of a heat map. So yeah, that's. I want you to keep this concept in mind while we switch to the demonstration of the application itself. And let me just switch from this presentation and open the application. So BookMap basically comes in two modes of operation. We have the BookMap Live, which transmit real-time market data. It also enables traders to make trading action. BookMap Live is not a standalone application. It interacts with the trader's existing trading platform, and in that sense, as I said, it's not a standalone application. The other mode of operation is BookMap Replay, which is sort of a simulator playing market data files. They are created with BookMap Live. Basically, every time you open BookMap Live and have a session, the data is recorded into a proprietary data file that you can play afterwards with BookMap Replay. Now we're already in off-market hours, so I don't think that there's much activity right now. So we'll use a pre-recorded session and open it with BookMap. So I'll just open the application. We get the control window of BookMap Replay, and we can load one of the feeds that we have here. I'll take this one. It's from February 4th. I think it's from yesterday. Yeah, it's from yesterday. So I'm loading the data. Basically, we have here the gold futures. I think we have the S&P 500 E-minis, the ES, and DAX futures. Pressing on one of these buttons will open BookMap, a BookMap chart. So here we have the gold futures. We can also see the E-minis. I'll close one of these windows right now to focus on the features of BookMap. So let's go over the few things that we see here. On the right side of the BookMap main window, you can see a histogram of executed volume from the start of the session, actually from the start of BookMap session, from the moment that I opened BookMap and started receiving market data. We aggregate the execution over here, and we we split the volume bars into two colors, so you can see how many or what is the ratio between orders that were filled at the bid in blue and orders that were filled at the ask in green. The number, by the way, we put less emphasis on number, we more focus on visual, but the number here represent the aggregated volume until right now. Left of the volume histogram, we see the current book. We displayed it also as a histogram. Most, if not all, of the available order book tool present, well, some of them at least present this in two columns. I think this presentation is much more intuitive. Again, divided into blue for the pending buy orders and green for the pending sell order. But this is the current book information that you saw with numbers on for instance, on the Ninja Trader Superdome. Right on the left side, the main canvas, the main BookMap canvas, you can see it's divided into two parts. We have the vertical moving yellow line representing current time with the price axis. Everything right over here of the moving yellow line is the current book. It's basically a reflection of the information that we have over here. It's the same information, just presented differently. And everything left of the yellow line is the historical book data. We have here the best bid and best ask lines as a price indication. What we did with the book data, basically we record every bit of information that the exchange transmits to us, and we keep it for presentation to the traders. Every order size receive a certain color coding on the scale of complete black to complete white. The lighter the color, the bigger the aggregated size of pending order at that specific level, and the darker the size, the lighter the size at the relevant price level. So, for instance, we can see here a very light color with some variations. So we know that this has been a consistent, at least from the start of the session, relative to the size of the entire book. This has been a relatively high area of supply, of pending supply. And the same here, a very steady white line representing heavy size of buy orders at this level. and you see the variation in between. Now, the exchange transmit different types of depth data or different levels of depth for different instruments. In this case, for futures, exchange normally transmit 10 levels above and below the bid and the ask. And you know, with existing tools, the information beyond these transmitted levels are basically lost. It's not presented. It's not presented to the users. What we do with BookMap is we keep record of the last transmitted size at levels that are now out of the range. So traders still see what was the size, the last size transmitted at the out of range levels, and once the price gets back to a transmitted range, or that price level gets back to transmitted range, you can immediately see what were the changes relative to the past. By the way, we can run I didn't mention that, we can run the replay in different speeds. This is normal speed. We can run it up to 16 times faster. I'll stick right now for the normal speed. You can also see here red circles, red dots. These red dots represent executions, and they are placed relative to the best bid and best ask, representing where they were actually executed. The dots are at varying size, representing an aggregation, the aggregation of the execution at that moment. So again, you can see without referring to numbers and having to deal with numbers and doing some, even if not so sophisticated computational work, here you get this information with visuals. Now you can zoom in to see this in more clarity, like this, and you can scroll back for areas of specific interest and use your mouse scroller to focus on a specific area of interest. We focus, the centering is focused on where the mouse cursor is at each time. So this is a very easy way to analyze the information in more detail. As for the color scaling, you know, the book again keeps changing, and sometimes you need to you want to adapt the presentation to changing market conditions, or you want to focus on different types of order. Maybe you want to focus only on large order and disregard smaller sizes at the different levels, or just focus on lighter parts of the book. So we have here the contrast configuration. It's quite resembling tools that you find on image processing software. You can set the maximum size, the size that actually gets the lightest color based on what you decide, based on the current book status, or automatically by BookMap. You can change the tone curve. We have a preset of several tone curves, going from those that emphasize more the lighter colors and those that also show darker colors. I can set it with the preset. I can also set the tone curve manually. For instance, if I want to see more clarity of lighter sizes, I will change the tone curve like this, press the apply button, and here I see also lighter colors. I'll switch back to the auto mode, and for this presentation, which for me is more meaningful. What else can I tell you here about the application? All right, so it's very easy to take captures for further analysis of what you see here in BookMap, and to study it later or share it with other traders. Just press the camera icon here, or Control S, gives you a screen capture that's placed in the here in the user feed over here. Sorry. All right. Sorry, over here. Open user folder, my mistake. And the screenshot over here. So these are the screenshots that I took. One of them is the one that I took just now. I've talked about this the scrolling part, and the other part of BookMap is that it enables trading actions. Now, again, the trading actions are not they're not processed by BookMap. We're going to only transmit trading actions to your trading platform. They are processed by your trading platform. Basically, when every time BookMap opens, the one-click trading feature is disabled for safety reason. If you want to enable it, I go to the trading configuration, enable one-click trading, choose the size of the contract I want to be represented by the mouse click, and close the trading configuration. Again, when we think about BookMap, we think about simplicity and quick reaction, quick analysis and quick reaction. Those one of the ingredients of a successful trading strategy. So basically, in order to enter orders, for instance, if I want to enter a buy limit order, I will just press one click on the left mouse button below the best bid, and that's it. And I have, with one click, I have a buy limit order. The same goes for sell order. Left click or right click on the mouse button above the ask will place immediately a sell limit order. If I want an immediate execution, I will press the left mouse click for a buy order at or above the ask, like this. And for sell order, I'll press it below or at the current bid. So, and that's it. And the orders are already placed. Now I see 0 because I placed 2 opposite orders. If I enter another buy order here, I can see my position here, my pending orders, the volume that I traded, and my P&L. Deleting orders is also very easy. I just press the mid button over the relevant pending order, and that's it. They are canceled. We keep a presentation of every action the traders did, whether it's cancellation that represented like this, and order placement with a full circle and a rectangle for executed orders. And I can, of course, change my presentation preferences if I don't want to see this, or if I just want to see some of the information. One more feature that we have here is an estimation of your orders in the queue. Basically, we are using sort of a pessimistic FIFO algorithm to estimate the matching algorithm used by the exchange, and to estimate your order place in the queue. So if I'll enter another buy limit order here, I immediately see a vertical white line on the relevant order bar at the current book, and the position of this vertical line will change based on the dynamics at this price level, the dynamics of the pending order. So I can see how fast my order is moved in the order queue, and this can give me also some sort of intuition about price dynamics at that level, and give me some the ability to estimate whether I have good chances to get filled or not. Again, visualization is the key here. You don't want to use with list of numbers showing the queue. We present it in a visual format. So all in all, you can see that the emphasis here is on visuals. The emphasis here is on simplicity. The emphasis here is on the ability to grasp a lot of information very, very quickly, and to get a very good picture, uncensored picture, unedited, unprocessed, unaggregated picture of what's really happening in the market. I think that's it for this the presentation of the demonstration of the tool. And I think it's a good time for us to take a break now and take some of your questions. Mike?
Okay, so if you guys have questions, go ahead and type them now. So let's wait 1 second for that. In the meantime, can you talk to us about data feeds that are supported or platforms supported or what you intend to support for execution?
Sure. As I mentioned, BookMap Live is an application running on top of Trader's platform. Currently we support Interactive Brokers TWS, and we support trading technology XTrader Pro. During this month of February, we will release a new version that supports NinjaTrader, probably in the next 2 weeks. As for data feeds, we support any data feed that is transmitted through a supported platform. So for instance, for the NinjaTrader users, they can use IQ feeds, they can use Zenfire, they can use other data providers, so long as the information is streamed through the NinjaTrader platform. BookMap will support it.
Okay, very good. And that was actually the first question here from Thomas. He mentions how Interactive Brokers sends filtered data, and they do a burst of data of 10 updates per second, 10 updates per second. He's asking if you're going to support Sierra chart. Any plans for that?
Well, there are two avenues where BookMap can develop. Obviously, we want to expand the reach of BookMap, and if you continue using BookMap as BookMap Live as a platform that relies on traders' trading platform, then Sierra Chart is certainly a valid candidate, and we will have additional platforms soon supported by BookMap. Another avenue that we can take, and we're debating on that right now, is whether to take this application to be an independent application, so that we'll be able to play feeds and transmit orders independently. Doing it just for viewing purposes, for analysis purposes, will be much easier and much quicker. We can support that and with less complexities. The other part is the transmission of orders, where it's a bit more complicated, not technically, but logistic and bureaucracy is a bit more difficult here. So we haven't decided, but I think that we will issue some plans of roadmap for future trading platform. Sierra Chart is definitely a good candidate.
Ryan is asking if what you've shown us today, would it look any different on XTrader?
It should not. I mean, it should look the same. The processing behind it is a bit different because the way the data is transmitted on this on Interactive Brokers, for instance, and on the XTrader Pro is different. But
other than the differences, on the data feed, the application itself, the front end itself, is unchanged. It doesn't matter what.
Front end. Exactly. We take care of the differences behind the scene, and we present the information in the same way.
Okay. Vaclav is asking if he can set a stop loss and profit target and scale in or out of the market with more positions.
Yes. Well, when we started developing the application, as I mentioned before, we had in mind very fast reaction. We didn't design it as a tool where you can just leave orders unattended, and so we focused at the start. It's a relatively young application, so we decided to focus first on these limit or market orders, So currently you don't have a stop loss and take profit. You have to do it manually. But we're keeping enhancing the product. We're already working on additional features, and certainly new types of orders are in place. I don't think that we will go too far in that because, you know, starting to do stop loss is certainly there, and we will add that soon, and take profit as well. But beyond that, all the conditional and bracketing orders and things like that, I think they are a bit missing the point of fast reaction here. We need to decide exactly how far to go with the types of orders. Stop loss and take profit will be there soon.
Right, okay. Raymond is asking if you can explain the difference between the white and lighter areas versus the black and darker areas. So you went into this before, but maybe just a little bit more detail about how those are drawn.
As I said, we use a gray coloring scheme from 0 to 255 for white, and when BookMap opens, it detects the highest size on the current book and fix the initial maximum size. So that maximum size, basic, and everything above that will get a complete white color, and everything that is close to 0 will get a black color. Basically, the relations between the color are the relations between the different sizes of the book. So a light color represents a big order size. A dark color represents a small order size. And again, you don't see the exact number that of orders that is represented by this color. What you see is the relation between the different colors. So you can quickly assess how this size at this price level interacts with different price sizes at a different price level for that specific time, right. or for the entire canvas, basically.
So like right now,
that's the meaning of the.
Sorry about that. So right now on the screen at 1746 quarter, we've got bright white, so indicates a lot of resting orders.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly, and also at the 1546.50 over here.
All right, Rick is asking if alarms or alerts can be set or generated that would indicate a sudden large resting order being pulled or spoofing.
No, basically this is the no, we don't have preset of alarms. We stick to the the visuals. I think the the biggest advantage of BookMap is not the ability to detect a sudden large order. The ability is to give a holistic picture of the book, and which is something, it's very easy to have some presets alarm indicating like a large order was placed right now. But I think the uniqueness of BookMap is the ability to interpret market patterns, look at the entire book as a whole, and see very quickly different patterns and different behaviors of market players. This is what we think is good about the tool. And alerts, and this is also something that is very hard to to program. It's very easy for the eye to see it, for humans to see it. It's very hard to write an algorithm that will detect these patterns and alert on that. And that's what we think is the value of BookMap. Alerting on specific price levels, specific sizes is not something that we want to do.
Okay.
This is Tsachi speaking. I want to add something. There are some questions that arose here regarding additional features. I mean, we have our own list and we prioritize it ourselves, but it's very important for us to keep to be very close to the market and speak with traders and hear their feedback. And we will set and we will change the priorities according to the feedback that we will get from the market.
Right. Okay.
From the traders.
So keep the suggestions coming, in other words. Okay. Tim is asking, I think you've already answered this, but he's asking if the live version can collect and save the depth data. So any instrument that you have open the live version is automatically saved so you can use replay later. Is that right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right. And Jim is
The
asking.
orders, one correction. The orders that are being placed are currently not shown in the replay mode. This is something which, again, in our feature list, we plan to add the orders that the trader does to the replay as well, and this is not currently implemented.
Okay. Jim is asking about the level 2 data. I think we just covered that, Jim. So if I understand your question right, it's all being saved, it's all being recorded, so you can use replay later. Re-ask the question if I still don't understand, Jim. Okay, D wants to know about dark pools. So obviously this is not going to show any dark pool execution. Do you have any general thoughts about dark pools?
Okay, something to add about that?
Yes, no, we don't have access to the market data. Basically, BookMap can represent anything that has market depths.
Right.
But
I can't see it, so what are you going to do?
yeah, it is dark.
Okay, let's see.
But we think we will have, we think that, BookMap, it's not the dark pools, of course, but I think that BookMap can help in detecting icebergs, hidden orders.
Right.
We're actually thinking of adding an indicator later that tries to draw places of hidden orders. But
Okay.
so that's,
icebergs in particular, right?
Yeah.
Because with icebergs, you'll be able, it will show up more clearly than it would on the dome.
Right.
Is a large. Okay, yeah. Let's see. I'm skipping some of these questions. I think we've already answered a lot of them. Let's see. LC wants to know, how much does it cost?
Okay. I think the best way would be to go to
the website. Yeah.
the website. If you look in our website, which is bookmap.com, you go to pricing page. Okay, we have an introduction discount, and the prices now to the traders would be between $54 a month to $90 a month, and it depends on the payment method. 54 it would be if you pay yearly in advance, and 90 if you pay on a monthly basis. We have, in addition, 14 days trial, which is free. When you download the application, you just need to place your email. You don't need even to put your credit card details. And only after 14 days, you have to decide if you want to purchase it or you want to quit.
And even if you decide, BookMap comes with the replay mode, which is free to use. We will start posting data feeds that we collect on the forum. We have the BookMap forum on the website. We of course invite traders out there to post their opinions, and if you mentioned feature request, it's a good place to post a feature request. And we will post data feeds on the forum, and that can be played with BookMap Replay, which is free of charge, regardless of your decision to purchase or not.
Okay, gotcha. And there's no price difference for the Ninja version, is that correct? It's the same price?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the same price for all versions.
All right. Okay, Stephen is asking if you could explain the estimated position in the order queue in a bit more detail. For example, if you join 99 contracts at the bid, you're now at position 100, and then another 100 are added, then 50 canceled, and so on and so forth. So he's wanting to know if you can describe it. I think, Stephen, you got a pretty good understanding. It's simply monitoring that level, right, and looking for executions, looking for orders that are no longer there, either canceled, removed, or filled, right? And then moves you up.
Yes, as Eyal mentioned, it is a very very pessimistic approximation, and currently it is just a prototype, but it approximates a FIFO matching algorithm, It means that when it doesn't advance our order in the queue if something cancelled on this side. So we have the ability, the order is advanced in the queue only if there is an execution on that level. And we plan to enhance this feature in the future and also add different matching algorithms corresponding to exact product.
Okay, great. Tim is asking about volumes. Tim, I don't think I've understood your question correctly unless you're talking about the total number of levels. So, like for example, on Gold or the E-mini ES, the CME automatically sends out 10 levels above and below. So, if your data feed doesn't show that, then you switch to a different data feed, I guess, because that's available to anybody really. Okay, Tim wants to know about changing the colors. You've already shown that, right?
Yeah, we're changing the color scheme. Yeah, it's okay. Through the contrast adjustment. You speak about these colors or the other colors?
He doesn't get into that much detail. Can you only change the contrast, or can you change the rest of them too?
No, we currently only control the contrast of the grayscale heat map.
Gotcha.
We don't use the color configuration currently for for the bead, but we will add that in the future.
Okay. Maklev is asking about the price scale, the yellow vertical line, if he can adjust that. And the way I understood it is you're simply automatically scaling the screen to the maximum number of depth levels that are supported by the feed, right? So we're getting 10 above, 10 below.
Yes, with some gap above and below, about 12 levels or 10 levels.
Yeah. Okay. I see some commenting about echo. Guys, that's not my side. So it's actually VeloxPro's side. If you turn the speakers down a little bit, we'll get less echo.
All right. All right.
Okay. Tony's asking if you can go into some of the details about the differences between your product and other volume profile tools like market data, footprint charts.
Yeah, we do not. There is no bars in BookMap. It means we do not aggregate it per minute or per 5 minutes. Just show as is. As you can see, there is each dot or each circle of red represents in the price scale. It represents the VWAP of the execution in this specific pixel, and the time scale represents its time. So it has a relation, but we try to keep it as much close as possible to the raw data, raw market data.
I think that's
something else which I want to emphasize is that most of the other volume-based applications only present the executions that were in the past, of course.
right.
What is one of the uniqueness of BookMap is that we present all the current book, which means all the passive orders that are in the book right now.
Right.
So most of the volume-based applications are looking only on the executions.
So I think that's worth repeating. So two very major differences being there's no such thing as a bar. Okay, there's no 5-minute bar or 4-range bar or Renko bar or whatever. That doesn't exist.
Right.
And then the second thing, like you just said, is that a volume profile, for example, is built based on trades, whereas this visualization is built based on the total depth, not based on trades.
Right.
Gotcha.
Right.
Okay, let's see what other questions we have. Some of these we've answered, so I'm going to skip. Chris wants to know if the introductory price is going to still be available after the NinjaTrader version is released.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. We've just launched, the TWS version and the Xtrader version only in the last few weeks. The Xtrader, it's only 2 days ago. The idea is to launch it to the market and to reach as many traders, and it will last for several months after, at least several months after we will be with Ninja. We will support NinjaTrader.
All right. Sebi is asking about the free version. So if I understood correctly, bookmap.com, is that right? And you can download the free replay version?
Yeah, the replay version, it's the same product, okay? Assuming you download BookMap and your trial has expired after 14 days, still you can play or replay data files.
Okay.
And those data files, you can get them from, we will provide those data files through the forums, okay, and through subscribers. So it will be easier for people who download the application to play historical files, but they will not be able to view BookMap live, not to view and not, of course, to trade.
Gotcha. All right. Let's see. Do It is asking about resources. So, like, is this application heavy? Is there a lot of CPU usage, or is it relatively light?
Sergey? Yes. Yes, we are working on it, but it doesn't require more resources than, for example, a TWS application. At max, it may require some, when there are several charts open, it may require up to 18% of a single CPU.
Okay.
But we are working on it, and it is not too high.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Elsie's asking about the release date for NinjaTrader. I believe that you already said 2 weeks or so.
Yeah, we plan to launch it during February.
All right. Let me see what else. Tim is asking about placing executed orders at the bid or ask. Are you using the order aggressor flag sent by Globex?
Sorry, can you please repeat the question?
Tim says, are you using the order aggressor flag sent by Globex?
Probably not.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that is either. So Tim, I would say ask that on the forum with some more detail when we have a chance to research that.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got. A lot of people saying they still have an echo. Okay, Carl wants to know if you have any general overall strategies for using the product.
Yeah, what we are going to cover, what Eyal is going to cover now in the next session is different. We're going to see several snapshots, screenshots, and to give some ideas how the order book may be seen or analyzed. We are not going to say, well, if you see this phenomena, this is what you should do, but it will give traders a hint of how to analyze the order book.
All right,
so
there's just 2 or 3 more questions, and then I'll cut them off, and we can go on to that, okay?
Okay.
Raymond wants to know, is there any reason that this would not work on futures? I'm sorry, on Forex?
Yeah, I mean, Forex does not provide the full order book the way that it is being.
Just one bank.
It supports futures, so I mean, Forex.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to trade futures on Forex, of course it supports every. I mean, it supports
Spot
all.
Forex.
It supports every instrument that have
Order book,
depth data.
depth data, and
Forex
does not provide depth data.
Gotcha. Tony asking if there's. Sorry, Tony, I don't understand the question. And it looks like 2 last questions. Jim wants to know if you're planning to release a Mac version or a Linux version, perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, the application itself is a Java-based, which relatively easily can be supported by Java or by Mac. Sorry.
Right.
We decided to start with Windows and to make this adaptation later on.
Okay.
But we will be happy to hear, I mean, among maybe our current listeners, how many are using Map. So we have some statistic at least at this point.
So anybody out there using Max, type something into the box right now so we know. And the last question is from Tim again. And Tim, I'm sorry, I think there's some kind of disconnect because what you're asking doesn't make any sense to me. So I think you should post that question on the forum, okay? So we have several people saying they're using Max, just so you know, maybe 3 people. All right, guys,
okay.
Let's continue, okay?
Okay.
All right, so I'll go back to the presentation. Let me just minimize here these windows. I think that's where we were. So we've talked about BookMap and the easy way it provides to see quickly and grasp at a glance different market phenomena, different market situation that with depth information, something that is not available on regular order book and tools. So here, for instance, gold futures, we can see a very massive area of resistance over here. The fact that we have a look at the history, in this case it's almost the past 10 minutes or so, we see that these levels have not been changed, and we can understand that we have a big area of resistance here. We see that the price tried to touch or break these levels several times, and this is a very easy way for us to to analyze this and speculate on a possible price move. In this case, a possible price decline. Here we see an interesting phenomena, again something that you will not be able to see with other application. I personally call it sometimes a pillar of deception. We can see 3 pillars here. Probably the action of a big player trying to push the price temporarily upwards for whatever reason. Maybe he's trying to execute hidden sell orders at these levels and trying to push the book with placing large and short-term orders below the bid. Here is the Nasdaq futures, and again, something that you can only see with BookMap. We see a very clear pattern of a market maker here engulfing the Nasdaq future price. We can see that this market maker is keeping a fixed distance and a very close distance above the best ask. We don't see a similar activity in pattern and size below the price. Again, it's up to the traders to speculate and to try to interpret this this behavior of the market maker. But you can see that this behavior, and for us, sometimes this is an indication of price decline, pressure on the price from above. Another example. Here again, gold futures. We can see here the white color extending to the past, indicating an area of resistance. And here you can see what is most probably another planned activity of a large player placing big orders, pushing the price down. These orders, you can see that they are placed for almost identical periods of time, very frequent rapid periods of time, trying to push the price downwards. Another activity of a large player, similar to what I mentioned before with these pillars of deception. This time the formation is not the formation of a pillar, but again we see very frequent large orders that are placed at this area in a very consistent pattern. And again, this is more than often typical formation that we see when someone tries to push the price upwards. Probably in this instance, that player wanted to get a good feel on or to unload his positions at this price level. What else? Again, clear areas with the gold future, clear areas of support and resistance. This time we added the order or the execution flow, the execution indications. So again, we can see the price bouncing from the resistance to the support. We can see large activity of orders over here causing the price to bounce immediately when the resistance level is broken. We can see a large order placed from below supporting the price. And indeed, in this case, I think this is a picture from probably yesterday. And indeed, this the price has started to going upwards. I think to 12.55 or something like that, starting from this point in time. Tsachi, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, can you go back?
Sure.
To the previous?
Sure.
Something which can be seen here is that if you look at present, we see a large size at that price level. And if you look at the price here, so the exchange does not broadcast what happens here in that price level. We can see it only when the price goes closer than 10 levels to this price. And this may indicate, if you look, when the price goes back, if you still see the same line, the same color, that means that that price level lasts for long. And as a trader, you can say, well, this may say something about the reliability of that price level, because there are many orders that are being placed, sometimes close to the market, sometimes far from the market, from the best bid and ask, which are fake. But here you can see, this is the only tool which enables you to see if those trades are last for long or just shown in the last few seconds.
All right. This is another example. I think it's a continuation of a picture, a zoomed-in picture that you've seen before with the pillars. So we can see that probably there was probably another pillar here on the left out of the screen capture. But you can see that after the formations are pretty consistent also in their appearance. They are appearing in very similar distances. Once this activity has stopped, maybe because this again this large player has finished unloading his position, he no longer wishes to or have any intention of pushing the price upwards, and we can see a break here of this area where these activities were present before, and the price declines afterwards. This is another example with the E-minis of consistent level of resistance, and indeed the price went downwards afterwards. Another example from the NASDAQ with the same phenomena that we saw before, but this time we have a clear level of resistance over here that lasted for several minutes and has been consistent and at least provides temporary support for the price. Again, the same phenomena of the market maker in the NASDAQ, this time in the different direction. You can see the different distances that the market maker keeps from the price, and you can see also that the bid size, the buying orders are closer, and also they have bigger size than the other side. Again, it's open to interpretation, but may indicate a price bounce. Again, the NASDAQ, very interesting picture here of large orders supporting the price from below, with very few, relatively few orders from above. You can see the areas here with the large execution activity signaling together with the imbalance of supply and demand over here, pushing again the price upwards, probably to this level, which will stay as a temporary resistance. This is the E-minis. Once again, the same pattern of imbalances between the ask side and the bid side, which is again stays for a long period. And I think, yeah, this is, I think again, this is from yesterday probably. And you can see indeed the previous picture was a zoom-in picture of this area. And when I took the view, zoomed out with the view, you can see the subsequent price action after this area. This is again the same. It's the same instrument, the same picture. I just wanted to show here again how a large size, a consistent large size over here, finishes at least temporarily the price action, the price bounce. And you know what? This might be even from today. I'm not sure. And I think the price went downwards from here. Tsachi?
Yeah, another things that we found is interesting to see is when a large size was added. And with the BookMap, you can see, for example, that this price level was strong earlier, but when the price went up, it becomes stronger. So this may indicate that the price level is stronger. I mean, when you look at it, so it really depends if you analyze it when the price change and become larger size at a certain price level.
Just a few more examples. This is silver futures. What's interesting about let me see. So yeah, what's interesting about this is that you see very similar patterns. This is from yesterday, and you see very similar patterns in an hour distance. This is we use here the UTC time zone, 8 o'clock UTC, 5 hours earlier than after in advance of East Coast time zone. So you can see here price decline, finds support, goes up, and the very same pattern, both the price action and the formation of the book, is very similar an hour later. This is a picture taken an hour later, almost exactly the same, with some variation. I'm not sure personally whether this is the same player. I'm not sure about the intention, but again, this is an interesting phenomenon to see the resemblance between the price action and the book condition during different times at the same day. And again, this is something that with further investigation and further study might indicate something relative to this specific instrument and the affinity of players involved in trading on that instrument. Yeah, I think this is it for this samples. So to wrap up and summarize, BookMap it provides unique visualization of depth data and order flow, as I hope that we showed you. We use and we deliver to traders unfiltered, unedited market information. We keep everything in display, and we keep everything available for traders' analysis in what I think is a very intuitive and easy way to understand. BookMap can help traders get an insight on price action using the information in the order book, something that supposedly you would get from existing tools, but with BookMap it's much easier. You can identify market imbalances, areas of large demand and supply, using the book, of course, validation of price breakouts, and identify the activity of large market players, something that we will enhance further in future releases. We think BookMap is good for frequent traders, whether they are manual or automatic traders. It's a good tool for analysis and development of trading strategies. And certainly anyone that is using currently order book and time and sales tools, order flow tools, can easily appreciate the difference between those tools and BookMap, and we hope that we were able to convince you in the value that this product provides. So that's it from our end. We'll be happy to take a few more questions if you have ones.
Okay.
Mike?
Yeah, let me take a look here. Carl's wanting to know if this could be automated within NinjaTrader for automated systems trading.
This could be automated in NinjaTrader.
I'm not sure regarding automated. If you have an automated strategy and you're using NinjaTrader, you would be able to operate BookMap in parallel and to view the price action and also to view your orders, your automatic strategy in BookMap. I hope this answers your question.
But you're not going to be exposing via like some kind of data series or something in C# where we can see the same representation that we see visually, right? BookMap is still a standalone application. You're just interfacing with NinjaTrader to get the data, right?
We thought about, but we do not actually provide any additional information. Then we only use the information that the provider, or in this case NinjaTrader, provides.
Right.
But we do not expose the BookMap API
Right. Gotcha.
at this stage.
Gotcha. Okay, Jay wants to know, he says the market makers can put a heavy resistance buy or sell volume in the DOM so that you don't pass through that price upper ceiling or lower floor. And that shows up on the DOM in time and sales. He wants to know where on your chart the same thing is showing the current major level of a heavy support or resistance. If I've understood correctly, I mean, that's just what the white line, the most intense lines.
Yeah, I'm not sure I understood the correlation to the Superdome and what exactly you see on Superdome. For me, the Superdome shows large area of demand, current large area of demand, but you don't get to see how this demand was, or what is the characteristic of the demand at this price level in the past. You see what it is doing right now with BookMap.
I'm sorry? The only thing I can think of is maybe he's talking about executions. So I know that you mentioned that resting orders are represented, but are executed orders represented in any way on the visualization?
Yes.
Yes, the most of the screenshots that we show, we prepared them before the trading feature was added. So,
but the red circles indicated large orders, right? Yeah, there we go. Okay. But the horizontal lines, those don't take into account.
No, the horizontal lines are pending order. This is book data, and the dots and also the bars on the right side represent executions and the relations of the execution to the bid and ask.
Right. Right. Gotcha. All right. So the first histogram is the resting orders, and the second histogram is executions. Right.
No. The first, again, the first histogram over here.
I was going left to right.
Oh, all right. So you mean this is resting orders, this is resting orders, this is executed orders, and these dots are also executions aggregated on different times in relation to the bid and ask.
Yeah, we're on the same page.
This is if you were asking about this graphics over here, this is a representation of order that was executed over here, placed here. Executed here.
I was just taking a guess as to what he was talking about. He hasn't elaborated, so Jay, you can post that question on the thread.
Your guesses sounds very educated and correct.
All right, let's take a look at the other questions. Tony wants to know, what type of research you have done on this tool, to tell you whether or not it's accurate. I believe that's what he's asking. Tony, let me know if not. I think that in one of our phone calls, you guys mentioned that you have your own algorithm, and that's what led to the development of this product, right? So have you done any other research that shows that this type of analysis is important?
There is no a lot of analysis here. It is just a representation of market data.
I think he's asking about the use of, as I mentioned at the beginning, when we started with BookMap, we started it as an internal analysis tool. We had a high-frequency strategy that had a huge importance and huge emphasis on order placement and order execution, where these orders took place and what was the market activity at those areas. And we find this tool very, very useful in analyzing, in retrospect, the performance of our strategy. So in that sense, yes, we did find it useful. As for trading strategies, we don't use this tool as a standalone tool, but as a supportive tool for trading decisions that we take with different measures.
Okay, so Tony, if I misunderstood your question, just ask it again a different way. Let's take a look at the other questions we have. Randy wants to know, on the example screenshots that you just went through, were the color gradients set to the default values?
There is a default value for each instrument that you start with, and the trader can change these settings, and once the trader changes the setting, it will keep the new settings that the trader set.
I think the question was about the green and blue color, right?
No. I think that the question was whether the screenshots were taken with a default contract configuration. I think the answer is probably no, because personally, I'll speak on my experience. I play not too frequently, but I do play with the configuration. The configuration right now is not dynamic. It's not that BookMap changes automatically the configuration of the grayscale scheme according to changing market condition. We have to do it ourselves. It's not something that we change too often, maybe every 1 hour or something like that. And also it's a matter of preferences on what exactly you want to focus on, what you find easier to understand. But probably the answer is no. The color configuration with the screenshot was defined by one of us, whoever took the screenshots.
Okay. Peter is asking if you can put up a chart of the ES showing real-time replay.
We can, but I don't think that this will add too much information because of very low activity at this time.
No,
I think he meant a replay, but just showing the
replay,
ES
sorry.
instead of gold. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
So it's not live, right?
Right, not live.
Oh, yeah.
He just wants to see
I
the
immediately
ES.
closed BookMap. Sure, no problem. I immediately closed the BookMap. So now we'll start from the beginning of the session. I'll just push it forward. Here's the ES.
Okay. D is asking how high-frequency trades show up on BookMap. I'm not sure I really understand.
But yeah, it can be seen very very easily. For example, like what distinguishes high-frequency traders is their consistency, because it is done by programs.
Right.
So what we can see, for example, here is the reaction to price change. We can see it in the depths, so it can be done manually, obviously.
But okay. But let's say that on this chart you have up right now, there's 4 minutes elapsed left to right. Show me where high frequency trades are.
I mean, you see the activity of the high frequency trading firms of a strategy, for example, that change its positions both from above the ask and also from the bid side. Just if you take an example, a certain place like here, the price decline, and you see that this high frequency strategy just took their orders and placed it one in a lower price level. Okay, so you see lots of market makers that change their positions according to the price. And what is the nice thing that you can see sometimes that they do not keep the same distance. And this is because of the risk and their feeling about where the price will go. So you could see a market maker that, I don't know if you see it here, but that place their orders in different distance from the best bid and ask. What you could see also, what we've seen earlier, is those what we call flash orders. It's large orders that are being placed here, for example. Large orders that are placed far from about 4 levels below, 5 levels below the bid, and push the price up. They change their order from that level to that level and so on, and see what happens to the price. The price goes up. And for example, this may present that the same strategy wants to sell. So they manipulate the price, they push the price up, and they basically place a sell order at that price level, and all they want is to sell, in that case, the FDAX.
I think the term high-frequency trading is somewhat confusing. I mean, there's a lot of high-frequency and automated trading activity taking place. Some of it manipulated, some of it is just adding liquidity. But I think that every place that you can find consistency in BookMap is indicative of some sort of automated strategy. It's not to say that it's easy to understand, the underlying intentions behind it, but this is something for further study.
I agree with you there.
Any place with consistencies must be automated and relating to high frequency activity.
Yeah. See, I guess the issue that I took with all that was that high frequency trading is not the same as algorithmic trading, and I think a lot of people they lump them together. So I agree that there's lots of algorithmic trading going on every day. We know that the majority of volume is algorithmic, but I don't know about classifying it specifically as high frequency and saying here is an example of high frequency. So I don't know. Anyway, I don't mean to bog down the discussion. We can, if that guy already forgot who asked it, D asked it. D, you can ask the question on the forum, on the thread, and we can let these guys go back with a more detailed answer. Okay, let's see what else we got. Tim wants to know how you determine if it's executed on the bid or ask. You're just looking at where the order was executed, if it was executed at the bid or the ask, right?
Right.
Yeah. Ideally, exchange sometimes provides this information. Which side was the aggressive order, but if it doesn't, depends on what market data source of it. Right. If there is no such information, we just estimate it according to the price of execution.
Right, and that's where a good quality data feed comes in. For example, like Zenfire, which is a very popular, or was a very popular feed, they're really great for low latency execution, but they do drop some level 2 data, and they're also sometimes out of order, so it's not necessarily the best to match order executions to the bid or ask, whereas a data feed like IQ feed focuses specifically on accuracy, even though they give up some latency in order to do so, right? So it's 100% accurate to match the last to the bid or the ask.
Yeah,
Yes, we prefer the more original exchange data, not processed and not aggregated.
And interactive brokers is probably the worst.
Yeah,
All right.
But yes, but in life it is still looks
Still useful.
okay. I mean,
Right.
yes.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'd be interested to see what a chart looks like, you know, with IQ feed versus interactive brokers, just to see how big the difference might be. But anyway.
Yes, the main difference is we can show we have already started developing for NinjaTrader, so we have feed files with IQ feed data provider, and what we clearly can see that the sizes change much quicker because simply because it is unedited data.
Right.
So it changes in real time.
So I see.
We will add screenshots to the forum, the website, and we will make also some of each platform, so you will be able to determine and to see it.
Great. I see Peter asking, I think the same question that we just answered. That's how can you distinguish if the order is filled at the bid or the ask? And again, that's just looking at the data feed. You look for the trade, the tick with the trade on it, and you see the price, and then you look and see, okay, what is the current bid, what is the current ask, and one of them should match, right? I mean, that's how I do it. I can't imagine some other way to do it. All right. Michael wants to know if you could repeat the discount offer. I think you showed a website that said it was 50% off or something right now. Is it right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. And we don't know exactly how long that'll be, but you said it would be for at least 2 or 3 months.
Even longer.
Yeah, we plan it to be even longer, but at least for 2 or 3 months.
Okay. Carl wants to know if there's any limit on the number of BookMap screens that can be displayed.
Depends on the trading platform. For instance, for Ninja, and not for Ninja, for interactive brokers, they limit the number of feeds that you can get to 3 instruments, so we are limited by that. In NextTrader Pro, there's no such limitation, so obviously it's a matter of computational resources. But it's memory capacity, not something that is limited by the platform. So you can add more than 3 instruments.
Okay.
And NinjaTrader, what is the policy there? I think that it's also not limited, right?
Yes, that didn't say the limitation, but it is each chart takes about 50 megabytes, so we have to take it into account.
Okay.
Of memory, but if the chart is not shown, it doesn't take much of CPU processing.
Okay.
Actually, not at all.
Dan wants to know if there are any ES replay files available right now that he can download.
There are 2 files in the version. It's in the installation itself, and we will edit. I think.
I think we can already add the ES session. Let me think. Was it ES? Yeah, I think we can add the ES session from today. I think I stopped it probably an hour or an hour and a half before market close because we wanted to use some of it for the presentation, and we wanted to start playing with it. But
okay.
Yeah, I think that we have some. I'll try to post after the presentation 1 feed file with the ES and the gold futures.
Just put it in a zip file and then attach it.
And Okay, and to them, if you need specific instrument, feel free to send us an email to support@veloxpro.com, and we will provide you with any instrument that you wish.
Okay. And I think, let me just check here. Omar is asking if you have any replay data for crude oil, CL.
Yes, and I think but it is old, and but we can again we can easily create it from IQ feed or interactive brokers.
Actually, look, I'm suggesting something. I mean, it's very interesting for us to know what traders out there on the forum are interested in, and we do welcome. I mean, up until now, we didn't get too much information from or feedback from the traders. We'd love to get your request on data feeds. I think that it will be won't be much helpful to put all data that we have, but if you send us a request through our forum or through the relevant threads on Big Mike's forum, we'll be happy to answer this with the relevant feeds. So. Crude oil is available. Yes, of course. Just send us what your interests are, and it will also help us to focus on what feeds are more popular and what we should focus on and provide on a regular basis.
I think that if you were to do the ES, YM, NQ, TF, and probably CL and maybe GC, that'll cover probably close to 90% of people. I'm taking a guess. Well, basically all the indexes and then a couple of the commodities.
All right.
All right. Let's see. It looks like the last question, Carl, is asking if there's a way to easily go back in time. So, like right now, we've got 1429 or so up on the screen. Can we go back and take a look at 1300 pretty easily, or?
Sergey, you want to answer?
Yes, we thought about this feature, and it is in the list. I can't say what the priority of it, but it is certainly on the list.
Currently, you can go back and from the time. I mean, since BookMap utilize a very large or very much information, we cannot keep it because it takes a lot of memory from the computer. So it keeps up to 1 hour back. If you want to see more than an hour back, you should go and to play the replay file. We are having and one of the highest priority features, as Sergey said, is to enable to see backwards more than 1 hour, and this is something that we are working on.
I just want to elaborate on that. Two aspects here. Again, when we started the development, we basically looked at this as a tool for with a short-term price action horizon in mind. So we didn't think that going back a lot backwards would be beneficial. Obviously, once we started to get this type of request, we decided to add this. The challenge here is to do it in a way that will not occupy too much memory. We have some ideas on how to do it, and we will probably incorporate it as one of our next features. Mainly it's an issue of how to deal with not utilizing too much memory.
All right, that sounds good. The last question that just came through was, again, clarifying. I think you've already stated it, but just to clarify one more time, that the replay version is free. So in order to get that, you would start off with the 14-day trial, and then even after that trial expires, you can still continue to load the replay version. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, that's correct.
I was paying attention, guys. All right. That's the only questions that we have, so I'm going to cut it off here. We're at an hour and a half, and I will post the recording of this sometime later today or tomorrow. If anybody has any other questions, you can go to the thread. What about email. Do you guys want to give out an email address for people to use if they have questions, or do you prefer
Yeah,
the website?
you can see our emails on the forum, info@VeloxPro or support@VeloxPro. There's a large distribution list of people getting these emails, so you can be sure that your email will be attended to.
Okay.
Info@VeloxPro, support@VeloxPro.
Okay. Well, thanks,
.com,
guys.
of course. Thank you, Mike, and thanks everybody.
Thank
Thanks,
you,
guys. All right, talk to you later.
Bye.
Okay, thanks.